All right. So Sunday is the big day when we make all of our changes to the Patreon, our Patreon site and supporter structure. So let's run this down this week. Of course, I am Edward Brandley, your NOLA history guy, at NOLA history guy on social media, and we'll uh, always ready to try to see if we can take on an issue or a question or something about New Orleans history. So, but today we're going to talk about the monetization of NOLA History Guy and what's going on here with this. So we're going to make some changes to the Patreon. We're going to talk about why are we doing this in the first place? Basically, why are we monetizing this stuff? We'll review where we are with Patreon, the changes we want to make, the changes or what impact this will have on here on the podcast, and then talk about well, what input we'd like from you guys in terms of thoughts and suggestions. If you've never taken a look at Patreon before, it's of course patreon.com and NOLA History Guy, all one word, is the page for the pod for pretty much everything we do here. All right, why monetize? Well, to put it in no uncertain terms, it's because I'm retired. I've retired from doing my corporate computer training. The wife wants to close down the company, even, that kind of thing. I have been doing this kind of computer consulting and training basically since 1984. Was doing uh, I was a high school history teacher. I started working at Radio Shack, and Radio Shack meant, basically, I had people that were saying, "Hey, can you help me with X, Y, or Z on my computer?" And that led to actually going out and hanging out a shingle and doing it myself and teaching folks. Doing actual training for Holy Cross College and University of New Orleans and that kind of thing. And that led to all the travel that I did for other, doing corporate computer training. And that is done in the sense that I've retired from that now. But that also meant that all of that computer training and consulting was where is how I paid for the stuff that NOLA History Guy uses, specifically server hosting, podcast hosting, distribution, and social media management, among other things. In particular, the big thing was the various hosting expenses and such. I treated the podcast and treated NOLA History Guy, the website, as production for the basically the way we handled things, and I could, well, not put too fine a point on it. I could write all that off, right? That kind of thing. So but that revenue stream is gone now. So I am gonna need some assistance financially to keep a lot of this stuff going, and that's the idea behind monetizing what we do. Now, we've done this a little bit just by way of experimentation over time with Patreon. Several years ago, I created a Patreon account and set up the Patreon site for NOLA History Guy. And it's just been a $1 a month supporter level, the minimum you could do on Patreon. And it's been a very fascinating experience. In particular, a big learning experience for me from a technical side, working with WordPress, the hosting, the content management system I use for most of my blogs. The idea there was there's a you know I use a plugin for WordPress that ties back to Patreon. So I can say this blog post is for Patreon only users, and it comes up and tells you that when you go to read the post and that kind of thing. Now, what I've liked about that is it. I find it very cool. Was a the plugin allows any patron, any supporter from via Patreon that they can use and see Patreon only posts uh, if all even if all you've done is sign up for Patreon for a month and then dropped it, I can set up. There's a setting in the plugin where I could say this post is visible to any patron, and the beauty of that, of course, was that teachers and students, in particular, teachers, it's like I get I get teachers that sign up to support NOLA History Guy, and I'm like, geez, I love that you want to do that, but you're a teacher. I don't want your money if you're if you're in the classroom, that kind of thing. So sign up for $1 and drop it. And then you can still access the $1 version of it at that point. And that's the way we've treated this now for just several years. But we're making a change there. It's still going to be $1 a month. Any patron can still see some of the stuff. And of course, Patreon, I can't just comp you. So it's the same idea. We're going to continue this though. And I'm going to do a lot. You're just going to expand this a bit more, that we'll have at least a post a week, where in particular, what I love to do is things like riffing off of posts on other creators. We get authors who do, or researchers who do other work, and we're going to riff off of their posts, that kind of thing. We got folks that share old photographs, but then I say, you know what? There's more of a story here than what this creator posted, so we'll go a little bit deeper on that, and we'll do at least one supporters only post a week. So if you're at the $1 a month level, then that's what you'll get, or you'll basically it'll be a little more consistent than what we've been doing, just kind of on a casual level all this time with Patreon. In addition to that, we'll be posting more content to neworleansrailroads.com, and that's going to get posted into that $1 Patreon as well. We, you know, we take we go out and catch photos of trains and post those to YouTube and talk about it. New Orleans Railroad stuff. Then, as we do that and continue to develop that, that's going to go into the Patreon feed. So if you sign up at the $1 level, you'll see the stuff that we do that kind of riffs on other creators, the railroad stuff we do, that kind of thing. And of course, if you are a supporter at any level in Patreon, you'll see this stuff come through. You'll get an email and say, "Hey, NOLA History Guy has a new post." And so again, you'll see one supporters only post a week. Some of it's going to be the old railroad history. Some of it's going to be streetcar stuff. Some of it's going to be other things as well, as we keep going here. Here comes the big change. Oh, by the way, just as a side note, that give you an idea here, this is a an old observation car from Louisville and Nashville Railroad that's now in private service. And you can see these cars come to New Orleans all the time, and we love to talk about them. And so if you're into that kind of stuff, you're going to see more of it on New Orleans Railroads as well as via Patreon. Now the big thing, and or the big piece to this, that's going to be the $5 a month level. We'll have at least one premium post per week that you don't get anyplace else except for at the $5 a month premium level. Here's an ad from Jules Crescent City Illustrated in 1877 of Daniel Henry Holmes's dry goods store in the 800 block of Canal Street. And it could be a deep dive on an image like this, could be something else. Basically, The whole idea here is we're going to do something special once a week at a minimum for $5 a month supporters. It's going to be deep dive stuff. It's going to be stuff you usually don't see in the books or other history sites, that kind of thing. For example, this is a sketch of Adrian Depage's for plan for the parish of St. Louis in the French Quarter. This was the original church that was built before the fire of 1788, and of course this church burned down. So after that it became the two cathedrals. But we'll do things like deep dive something like this architectural diagram and talk about its history and significance. The podcast, our weekly podcast that you're listening to right now, still free, still continues. This is Jeanette Boutal West, one of her paintings of West End. It's actually that's actually the original incarnation of what becomes the Bucktown Bridge over the 17th Street Canal, leading into the back of the restaurant area at West End. And yeah, we're going to continue this. We're going to continue the free podcast. It's going to be available on the website through your favorite podcast listening software, as well as via YouTube. One of the things, doing it on YouTube has become a big deal for a lot of podcasters because there's just been so much horrid content. You literally have these well, I won't go there right now, but some of the content is right-wing, extremist, Nazi, violent, and incredibly bad on YouTube. The only way to change that is to put more interesting content that if you're interested in it, it gets you looking at YouTube. If your children and grandchildren are on YouTube, then the algorithm starts putting good New Orleans history into their recommendations as well. The podcast is continuing, other than today, here we're begging for money. In addition to that, of course, premium supporters will get a second weekly podcast. Now, this is not going to be YouTube because, of course, YouTube is the free stuff and everything. The premium podcast is again going to be similar to what we're doing with premium level $5 a month level posts. You'll get a second weekly podcast, but it's going to be a deep dive. It's going to be old school. I'm going to take the digital recorder back out to the coffee shop and we're going to sit outside and we're going to break down a photo. For example, you look at that photo at first glance, the one that you're seeing on the screen right now of NORTA 461. It looks like your basic green arch roof streetcar, but it's not. And we'll do a deep dive of 461 at one point where we show it in all three of its liveries. It started out as a red streetcar for Riverfront. Then it got painted blue after Katrina. Now it's painted green and it runs as a handicap access car on the St. Charles line. We'll tell the story. That's one example of this. Uh, in addition to that, we want thoughts and suggestions from you guys. If you are a supporter, you'll be able to comment in on the Patreon site. You see the post, you'll be able to comment. You see the podcast, you'll be able to comment. That's how we're going to customize content for supporters on the Patreon. In addition to that, we've set up our own Discord server, and you'll be able to get to that. You'll see the link for it on Patreon. You got one more day. I think I'll post it one more time on one more time openly on my on my personal Facebook page if you're a friend on Facebook. But otherwise, after that, when you join Patreon, we'll mention it and we'll put that in the Patreon posts so that you'll be able to come to Discord. We've already had one question that somebody was asking something very specific about a particular history item, and we've already answered the one, and that's going to build and grow as we do this. So thoughts and suggestions, come to the Discord server, come to the Patreon site, and we'll talk about these things and use that to improve the content that we give to people who support the site. So how does all of this work? Well, you go to patreon.com/NOLA History Guy, all one word there. You come to NOLA History Guy on Patreon. This is what you see, right? This is the banner that you see right now on that site. You got Lucky Dogs, the Krause book, some of my fiction. You get the idea. You'll know you're in the right place. From there, sign up at either level. You could sign up just as a $1 supporter or a $5 supporter. Users will get a 7-day free trial at the level you choose. So if you don't like it, you say, no, man, I don't have the budget for this right now. You can go ahead and make that change. No harm, no foul within the first week of doing it. Of course, you get billed after that. But again, if you're a teacher, sign up at the $1 level, let it go past the free day. That way you get billed for $1 and then drop it. And I guarantee you will keep you going on these kind of things. The rest of you, come on, man. I look at some of the stuff that you guys pay for on Substack and other platforms. You can afford $1. You can afford $5 for good quality New Orleans history. That's why go out to patreon.com, NOLA History Guy. We're not going to bug you about this all the time. You want to know the story of that Regal beer truck? It's like we tell stories like that. It's actually a picture from the lawyers because it was involved in a car wreck, I think probably with a Nazi bus. But that's the kind of deep dive stuff that we'll do. So go out to patreon.com, NOLA History Guy, and from there, sign up at the $1 or $5 level and go from there. Free podcasts are going to continue. Uh, Nothing changes with that. Like this episode, you're looking at this on YouTube, or you got this either from nolahistoryguy.com or from your regular podcast listening software. Premium supporters will get the second podcast on that patreon.com NOLA History Guy. Once you log in to Patreon, you will see the podcast there. In addition to that, we're going to give you an RSS link from Patreon that will then allow you to look like if you use Spotify or another Apple or Apple podcasts, or I use I'm always experimenting with stuff on the phone in terms of software that I use for podcasting. So you'll be able to do the same thing. We'll give you the RSS feed for that. Like right now on the Android phone, I use Pocket Casts, right? So you'll be able to put in the feed and say, "Hey, this is what I want to listen to." That is a sketch from the WPA Writers Projects, showing you basically the old French market back in the 20s and 30s. Go sign up, become a supporter. While you're at it, you can certainly support us by buying NOLA History Guy books, buying Edward Branley's books, the Brothers book, the Canal Streetcar book, Maison Blanche. We're going to be talking a lot about MB as well as other retail. the jazz book. So much fun. We're going to start deep diving some of the legendary locals of New Orleans that we don't normally talk about, in particular on the $1 level. The Kraus book. We were talking. Uh, Went to a book signing for Frank Perez, and they were talking about, Frank is expert on queer New Orleans and queer history in New Orleans. And all I could think about while he was doing readings from his new book, Rainbow Fleur de Lis, the four Kraus brothers, who were four Jewish men who never got married, because he kept talking about Bienville and how Bienville was this French uh, explorer who lives to 80 and never got married. And it makes things that make you say, right? Which I don't go there with the Kraus brothers, but makes you wonder sometimes, right? That kind of thing. So NOLAHistoryGuy.com, Patreon.com/NOLAHistoryGuy. Come see us, come talk to us. Let's talk about the value you'll get from being a Patreon supporter of the platform. Shout out to the folks who did this really cool uh, PowerPoint template that is in the Creative Commons. Ping me if you ever want to use it yourself. That's the whole idea of Creative Commons.